Okay, I'm almost ready to put this pancake box up there. I put the ground screw in there, and see how at the bottom of the ground screw it's going to go up above the back side of the pancake box. That's why I had to pre-drill a hole up in there into the wood just to allow this screw to go up in there, or else this screw would never tighten down because the back side of the screw would be hitting the wood. Okay, and I had marked the holes, my mounting ones, and I took a little drill bit and pre-drilled up in there a little bit. And then see this little thing here, I just took a screwdriver and just kind of put it in there and see if I can stretch that out. It's designed to put your Romex right through there, and then it's going to pinch it on there, see? And that's like, if you got a regular attic, you don't want somebody to walk up there and not know that there's a wire there, and then it pushes down on your wire on the edges of the side of your box, because those edges are sharp. That's why you have this, so that when the wire goes up there, your wire Romex cabling on the sides don't hit on there. But you know, if it didn't come with that, and if I forgot to purchase one of those, I could have done it without it, but code says you got to have something. And but you see up here, there's no attic, so it's like, what's ever going to happen? But nevertheless, they say it's code. Now, if you know what a Romex connector is, you could put a Romex connector in there, and it's got a bolt that comes through here, and it's got a nut that you would tighten down, and then it's got two screws that screw on there that clamps down, and you may have to do that there depending how much room you have over there. And then you could do that down lower, and then you could just push the whole thing up into the ceiling. You could do it that way too, see? Okay, so now it's about getting up there, fishing my wire through there, allowing enough coming down. I allow, 8-9 inches or so, and then I can trim it off or whatever when I get done, and then I'll just pull the excess back that way, or I can leave it up there or whatever. That's our next step. All right, I'm going to get up there. Sometimes I explain something and thinking I've explained it enough and for it to make sense, and somebody will say, "Hey, way to go, Joe. You didn't show us how to do it. You just explained it." And I'm like, well, isn't that about the same thing? If I'm going through all the effort to explain and kind of show you down below, can't you get the idea? Some people can, some people can't. Okay, so I get my drill set up here, and let's see if I can't push this through there. And like I say, you gotta kind of mess with it a little bit. Okay, there it goes. See? That keeps this box on there tight, see? Now I can slide it up however far I need. That's probably enough, right? That's probably plenty. And I can swivel it back. I can push the excess up, because this box is not going to go anywhere. See? I already double checked to make sure it would go up in the hole, and that screw goes up in there, and that looks pretty good where I've pre-drilled the holes. Oh, okay, I can see. See, I may have to shift that ever so little. Okay. And I pre-drilled the holes because that TGI is 25 years old, and it was tough just to drill a hole in it, and that stuff is compressed wood, and it's designed to be nice and stout. Now, okay, where's my hole at? Oh, there it is. This is one of those ratcheted drills, and so it's supposed to make that noise. I'm trying to get it in to one of those pre-drilled holes I did. Do you ever think that's gonna fall down? I mean, I could just do it with 2 screws. You know, I've got pre-drilled for a 3rd one, but I'll put the 2nd one in. Now, if I had a regular drill, I'd have to pre-drill those holes out just a hair further, because there's no way I could get it in there, even on high. So for that reason alone, I like the ratcheted drill. Do you really think I need to put another one in? I probably don't, but I'm going to. Check my screws. Okay. Wow. Oh, I'm glad that portion of the project is done. Just to get that up there. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Whew. Man, oh man, oh man. Oh. Now see, any ceiling fan that you install, if you do the pancake box technique, kind of like how I'm showing you, you can do it, but you've got to obviously hit a joist, and you've got to do it in such a way to get the wire across there and all that. Now, they have other brackets at the store, but I wouldn't have been able to use anything else because there was no attic. Now, if there was an attic above there, if you didn't feel comfortable doing it like that, they have the box on a sliding rod that hangs down. You take the rod and slide it in between your floor joist, your ceiling joist, whatever you have up there. Then you have to make sure you have somebody down below, so you know that the box isn't going to hang down too far. It's not going to be up too high, and you can do something like that too. Make sure you get the boxes that are designed and meant for a ceiling fan, not just for a light fixture. Okay, if you're doing this and if you have an inspector look at the work, he wants to make sure that your approved boxes are approved for an actual ceiling fan rather than a light fixture, because the ceiling fan holds more weight. Okay.